Welcome to Sure Thing. We're Lakey Peterson
and Kaleigh Gilchrist, two athletes who love exploring the world and sharing our stories.
We'll be taking you through the good times, the tough times, and everything in between.
Basically, it's about chasing dreams, staying inspired, and having fun along the way.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Welcome, guys. This is the very first episode of the Sure Thing podcast by Lakey Peterson and Kaleigh Gilchrist.
Welcome. Really thought of this idea maybe 3 weeks ago.
We really went for it, but that's what happens when you get two type A athletes together and have an idea.
This is it. Yeah, we're really excited. This is like kind of a passion project for us a little bit, but we think it'll be fun. We think we can have some cool, meaningful conversations between us and our stories, as well as other guests that we'll have on the show. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And yeah, we're new at this, so bear with us, stick with us, and we will get better. So
it's gonna get better.
Yeah, it's gonna get better. Even just setting up today, yeah, there's a lot going on, but we're really excited. Sure Thing is the name, little play on words there. And we're gonna dive in kind of just to like how this all came to life and this idea. Me and Kaleigh have known each other we've known each other for ever.
Yeah, since you were 8, maybe me 9 or 10, right?
Yeah, I think so. So we'll just dive into our story, I guess. So I think I was probably like 10 years old, starting to do junior events around California for surfing. And you were surfing at the time. And you were also kind of playing water polo. Like you always like kind of remind me of myself a little.
No, it's hilarious. We'll find some photos for you guys. But Lakey and I have had the same upbringing, just one was in Santa Barbara and one was in Newport Beach. And then we just kind of collided in our junior year. And that was kind of the beginning and foundation of our friendship during those surf years.
Yeah. I mean, like it truly was. And then we both kind of went on to do USA Surfing. They do like junior ISA events and then they do World ISA events. So we were on the same team for New Zealand, which was super fun. We went to New Zealand for Team USA, which was so fun.
That was your first trip?
Oh my.
That would have been, what would that have been? 2008?
Yeah. So we spent a lot of time together within the surf scene. And then obviously, Kaleigh, maybe you could give background of like you went into water polo and how that unfolded and you were simultaneously surfing as well. Like, do you want to just give us a little backstory of what you've done? You've accomplished so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Sure. So I started playing water polo and surfing at the same age. I was 8 years old and I was just a tomboy. Like I played basketball, flag football, snowboarded, just did whatever the guys were doing. I had a super tight knit group of guys, maybe 5 or 6 of us. And they would tell me what they were doing. And then, of course, I was like, Mom, I got to do that. Sign me up. And not only do I have to keep up with them, I have to be better than them. Yeah. That was the beginning of my competitive nature. And then surfing and water polo just so happened to start at the same time. And I kind of fell in love with both and was too stubborn to give either one up. And that was pretty much my trajectory. Basketball was actually my first love, but I knew, around 8th grade that I wasn't as good as I was in surfing and water polo. So I said goodbye to that in 8th grade. And then 9th grade, it was all water polo, all surfing, and just made it work. Like, obviously I have to applaud my parents and my family for supporting it. And, a handful of mentors that told me I'm crazy enough to do both. And I think there's so many people saying I couldn't.
Yeah.
Newport Harbor's program for women's water polo in general is super high. So their coach Barnett, who passed in 2018, he was a huge mentor of mine, but everyone would say like, good luck trying to surf with Coach Barnett. Like, yeah, freaking right.
So you're like, you haven't met me.
Yeah. So here I am, this like naive 14-year-old going into freshman year. And I was like, hey, Coach Barnett, I surf as well. Can I maybe miss off-season mornings to go surf for surf team? And everyone's like, you said that to Coach Barnett? Like, no way. How would he take it? And I had him by his tail end of his career, so he was pretty soft by then, but he's notorious for just being insane. And he got behind me. And not only did he let me to do that and travel for the ISA events and for NSSA contests and miss some water polo off season, but he supported me and he would log on and send me emails when we were in New Zealand and watch the heats live.
That's so cool.
That was obviously one of my biggest mentors, especially in such a pivotal time of my life when so many people said you had to choose one or another. And you see it so much now in sports specific training as a young child. And I think being able to do both, taught me so many different things that I brought to the other sport and vice versa. But B, it was just having the passion. And I think it also taught me a lot about time commitment too, because I was pretty psycho.
I can't believe, I mean, I played like very low level water polo, and that sport is like the hardest sport I've ever done in my life physically. And I just cannot believe you did. I mean, obviously you went on to do Olympics and gold medals and stuff like that, and then you went to USC with Jovan, that's his name, right?
Yes.
And he's like notoriously the gnarliest coach of all time.
Oh
so
my God.
you went Newport Harbor with this crazy guy. Then you went USC with another crazy guy coach. Great coaches. Crazy,
Great
but
coach.
you know, just very intense and all in commitment. You were able to do polo and fully show up, probably have a great time on the weekends too, and surf.
we did that.
Yeah,
for sure.
like I was constantly watching you from afar, like I'm tired of just surfing and like doing this, and she's doing all that. It's pretty impressive.
I know. It was probably a little bit of a case of FOMO, and I learned over the years, especially when I got older, when I had to commit. But it's just interesting, the chapters. Like Newport Harbor, I was able to balance both and had, you know, one of my best junior years was my last year in 2010 for surfing, and also my best water polo year. And then I get to USC thinking I can still do that. So I rush a sorority, I move into the sorority house, and then I have my first big trip planned for surfing, and it was World Juniors in Bali. And I was so psyched, like made it, I think top 2 or 3. It was like me and maybe Quincy Davis back in the day.
I remember for the Bali one. Yeah.
And I was like so stoked to go. So here I am, thought it was going to work, walk into Jovan's office like, hey, I'm just going to go peace out for 2 weeks in October, like preseason, and go to Bali. And he like lit me. I left that office crying. I mean, he cursed me.
Oh no.
And it was just this harsh realization, like, this stuff doesn't fly here. And it was a really hard transition, but I think it taught me so much of what like true selflessness, teamwork, and commitment meant. And I was this close of quitting. Like I was watching you, I was watching Sage, and I was watching Court. I think that was the year you guys qualified for the 2010.
They were a little before me. I was 2011, first year of 2012, but they were before me.
Yeah. And you guys were like doing whatever QS 6 stars at the time and like ripping and winning. And I'm in my dorm room getting yelled at by this crazy, like whatever, Montenegrin. And I was like, am I making the right decision? Like I literally had a draft email to send it to quit water polo and meet you guys on tour.
That's crazy.
But obviously looking back on it, I made the right decision.
Yeah. That is so wild. It's definitely, geez, it's such a gnarly sport.
I know, it's crazy. But, you tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Obviously, you played some water polo. You were a little surf rat, skate rat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Santa Barbara, so pretty idyllic place to grow up. And at the time, it was like Santa Barbara, it's changed so much. I still love it, and it's still home. It just felt like more wholesome and untouched. I feel like everyone lives there now, just since COVID. But yeah, we grew up right near the beach at a little right-hand point break. And so it's weird because my family, a lot of people like within the surf industry who become professional surfers, a lot of them come from like a surf family background or someone in the family that's kind of been through the motions of surfing, competitive surfing. And none of my family really did. Like I grew up playing tennis. My sister played tennis. My brother played water polo. Mom was a swimmer. Loved the ocean, but no one had done that path before. So
all athletic for sure.
But all very athletic. Yeah, my family is very athletic. And yeah, I just would go down to the beach with my next door neighbor and we would like surf the point break with his dad at the time. And not his dad, not at the time, but his dad. And we would just go surf. And then my mom started surfing a little bit. And then my brother got into surfing for fun. And yeah, I mean, my surf career, honestly, such an organic, I feel like, progression. Because before that, similar to you, I was all in on like flag football, AYSO, water polo for a time, tennis. And I was like, I don't want to go to Bakersfield. I want to go to the beach. This is way more fun once I started doing some surf contests. So yeah, kind of one thing led to another. And then I qualified for the championship tour. I was 16.
Yeah, you got to talk about your rise. Like, it was so quick and fast, in my opinion. Like, I remember Lakey was kind of the tiny when we were surfing, and I was whatever, maybe 11 or 12, and Lakey was 10. And then next thing you know, she's doing this crazy air, winning nationals, huge sponsors, winning QSs. Like, it happened so quick, I felt like. And it was obviously as a friend and as a competitor, as a competitor, I was like, geez, this is so annoying. But as a friend, I was applauding her, and it just it was crazy.
It was crazy. It was definitely very quick. And we didn't know. I mean, my parents were kind of like, whoa, shoot, what do we sign up for next? Like, this is going well. But yeah, the pivotal moment for me was definitely the nationals we had. I was 14. It was at Lower Trestles here. And I was not supposed to win that event, and I won that event, and that really catapulted me.
We gotta say how you won it.
I did like this little air, which was like at the time a really big deal. If someone did it now, it would be like a 0 point. But at the time, I got 10 or 9 point something, and
all over the mat.
Yeah, it was like a huge moment for women, like a girl to do this.
It was
awesome. And then I got picked up by Nike, which was just like the coolest dream come true of all
that's gotta
time.
Be the sponsor.
Yeah, it was so cool. I'll never forget. I went up to their headquarters and I was just blown. It was the coolest. But yeah, and we filmed like a girls movie with Nike. So it really just like, my point is it just catapulted me into my career. And then, yeah, it just fast forward, one thing led to another. And then I was on tour, and then here I am 13 years later, still on tour and still going. So yeah, it's a lot, but it's been so much fun. I've enjoyed it. It's the best life ever.
Yeah. I mean, you've been crushing it. It's been so fun to watch. I mean, there's so much and so many stories from the 13 years that you've spent on tour, but I do want to talk about that 2018 season. And that was, in my opinion, maybe your opinion as well, the breakthrough season, and you finished second in the world.
Yes.
2019, you finished third in the world.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about those 2 years and what changed in mindset and performance, and how did you get things to start flowing your way? Not that you were doing poorly before, but...
Yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely, it's crazy because my first year on tour was 2012, and I kind of just always did well, but nothing crazy. And then in 2018, I just had this breakthrough season, and it's wild. What you could probably talk to this too, but like just a little bit of momentum or just like a tiny bit of confidence will do. So in 2018, I won the first event of the season, which was like a huge way to start the year, obviously, and a huge event to win at Snapper. And that catapulted me into these 2 crazy years of competing. 2019 was the qualifying year for the Olympics for Tokyo. And this was the first time surfing was going to be in the Olympics. Obviously a dream of mine to go. And it was crazy because I kind of came off of 2018. I finished runner-up. I had this incredible year. 19, I was like winning events, kind of mixing between like first in the world, second. Me, Caroline Marks, and Krista Moore were all right up there at the top the whole year. And I was having, an incredible year. And then it came down to the very last event at Honolulu Bay. I think you came.
Yes, I was randomly there with Cammie Craig. You know her. She's a stud water polo player, 3-time water polo player, one of my best friends. And we were hosting a camp. We host water polo camps. And it just so happened to overlap with Lakey's biggest contest of her year, or of her life.
Yeah, of my life.
Trying to either win a world title and or qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah.
So we were able to watch actually one of your heats. Yeah.
I was so stoked you were there. I remember.
It was really fun.
It's like, here to cheer me on. But yeah, it didn't work out. I got third, so I missed the Olympic spot because they were only taking 2 Americans.
Yeah, I think we need to pause on that. Like, this is so messed up, but this is how sometimes the Olympics work and qualification works for the Olympics, depending on the sports. But Lakey finished third in the world. Third in the world, and only 2 people from America get to qualify. So she's third in the world, but doesn't get to go to the Olympics. But everyone that finished behind her get to go.
Because the 2 in front of me were the other 2 Americans. So that was like the most heartbreaking. It was so hard. That was Heartbreak Hotel for sure. I mean, when you get so close and then you still have this great season, and then it's not unfair, but it almost feels unfair because you're like, geez, you feel like worthy enough to be going. And it was really challenging. I mean, that one hit me hard. It took me a while to bounce back. I don't know if I've still ever bounced back. It's still
teach me
a little bit. I think though, and you just realize that things happen for a reason, or just they go how they're going to go. And I feel like I did such a good job pouring my heart out that season, doing the absolute best that I could. And so I kind of look back at it with, I don't know. I mean, obviously I'd changed things in that heat or whatever, but on a whole, I feel like I did everything and it just wasn't meant to be for me, you know? And that sometimes is just the hardest thing ever in life when you want something so bad. And it's harder too if you get so close to a goal, which I'm sure we'll go into with you, and then just fall short. It's like worse than missing it by a long shot.
100%.
You know?
Make me last.
Yes. Yes.
4th, 5th, or 6th.
Right? Yeah. So I think that was really challenging. And that's a good segue probably in just your career. Obviously, 2-time gold medalist. 3rd time was almost a charm, but it was kind of a similar situation. I mean, different from my situation. Yeah. Obviously, you got so far. But can you just walk us through your first 2 Olympics? how that went, how amazing that was, and then your last Olympics that you just did.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we call it quads, 4 years leading up to the Olympic Games, and each quad is like it's kind of crazy how different it is from the previous quad. And it almost takes on a mind of its own and shape shifts into this journey that you maybe wouldn't have expected. So 2016, I'll give a little bit of background. I'm sure there's not too many water polo people or people that know water polo or are diehard fans. So water polo is a crazy sport. And in 2016, there were only 8 teams, female teams. Every other Olympic team sport has 12 or more.
Oh, this is kind of like a surfing thing.
Yeah. Then you guys are growing now,
Yes.
and we're actually growing now. We're finally at 12 for
Okay.
Paris, which is the first time we've matched the men's amount of teams.
Very cool.
So go back to 2016, there's only 8 teams, and it was in Rio de Janeiro. So that means that Brazil takes our America seed. So usually our easiest way to qualify is through the Pan American Games.
Right.
And if we win that, we get the America seed, because the way they do it is they divide it depending on where you are in the world, like Australia, Australasia and Europe and, the America.
Yeah.
So we knew going into that we had only had one chance to qualify, which was in March of 2016, Holland, at the last chance qualifier tournament. We had to win the quarterfinals, and then we would go. If we lost, we're done. Our Olympic dreams are done.
It's so gnarly.
And this is like, it's so cut. Like, it's so messed up.
It is at the top. It is.
Yeah. And then 2012, the women's water polo team won gold, first time ever. And there was a lot of veterans that retired after that. And they had heartbreak after heartbreak. 2000, they got silver. 04, bronze. 08, silver. Last seconds in those silvers. 2012, bunch of returners came back. They got the gold.
Wow.
So the turnover to that 2013-14 was crazy. Like, there was only 4 returners out of 13 people.
Wow.
So you're getting a bunch of these young people. I mean, luckily that worked out in my favor, but you're getting 16, 17, 18-year-olds coming on, trying to make it, having no idea what's going on. And I was like, I was kind of naive in water polo. Like, I was a surfer and I dreamt of making the tour and being a world champion. And it wasn't until later on in my career, like, I dreamt about it, water polo in the Olympics, when I was about 10. And then that dream kind of died because surfing took over. And then it only came back on the scene when I got an email from our head coach inviting me to try to train for 2013 tryouts.
Wow.
And then even then I was kind of hesitant. I remember I had a QS in Peru or something. And I sent Adam an email after our training camp thinking I was going to make the team. I was like, hey, look, like, I want to tell you this before so you don't announce my name just in case I do make it.
Wow.
But I don't think I'm ready to commit. Like, I have these QSs. I have this surf dream.
That's insane.
And looking back on now, I was like, I am such an idiot. Like, could you imagine? I was like ready to write off this dream and goal.
Wow.
Luckily, they had kind of a mediocre summer, and 2013 fall, I get the invite back.
Okay.
So fortunately, Adam, our coach, is pretty cool. And he saw that there was potential, I think, in my play. And I don't know about that. So when he invited me back, it was like game on. Like, my goal is to go to the Rio and win gold. So we are grinding. We're a young team. Everyone's like, the rest of the countries aren't really respecting us. And we slowly but surely start building, talking about confidence and momentum. We started at 2015 summer. We won world champs. No one expected it. Just gritted our way through.
Yeah.
Craziest draw. And then straight into our March qualification tournament.
Okay.
And it's heavy metal stuff.
Yeah.
So we win our bracket. So that means that we cross over with France in the quarterfinals.
Pause. Are you supposed to be winning or not?
Yes,
really?
I think so. I think
Okay.
people started to have some fear in us, and we started to get
like,
that
okay.
confidence. And we won, which made it an easier quarterfinal. France is a great team. They've gotten better over the years, but it was the best possible outcome. And we were still freaking out. Like, what are we going to do? We have to win this game. And we beat France 19-0 in the quarterfinals.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
stomped in. But everyone was just like, no way we're going to lose this game.
For those of you who don't know water polo, 19-0 is like, that is an insanely high score.
Yes.
Like, usually it's like 3-4, like, or whatever.
And it was wild, and it was actually really fun. So I don't even know why they continued the tournament on for the semis and finals, because we went out and we celebrated, because our calendar that day was circled for 3 years, and we just had the best time. And then we're like, screw it. We're here, partied the night before, and we're playing our semifinals, which has never happened and probably will never happen again on the international level. Like, but we're like, let's show up and just win this whole thing and like start making our mark. So we won that tournament and things just rolled, and you go straight to Rio. And the stat, I think, for Rio, we played 6 games at that time and we were only losing by 30 something seconds because Hungary scored the first goal of the game. The rest of the 6 games we were leading. Wow. So it was like complete domination, and there's nothing like your first. I had so many friends down there with curly wigs in the stand, and face paint, and
Kaleigh's hair is really like an iconic thing.
Yeah. I mean, and then you're just like on the podium, obviously tears, crying, you're watching your flag being raised and
can only
singing the national anthem. And then you go to the 2020 quad, which is probably the craziest chapter of my life. And I'm sure maybe this podcast, maybe later on, we'll dive into it more.
For sure. We're going to go deeper, guys.
We'll do the Spark Note version, but I took the year off and I went on the QS. I was like, I'm done. I'm finally like ready to make the tour.
Remember this, and it was like Kaleigh Gilchrist coming back, and I was like, yes, get her on tour. I need another friend on tour. This is so sick.
And it was like it was so fun. I had the ultimate sponsor, West Coast University, and they're just like, do whatever you need to get on tour.
That's amazing.
And so I was like, let's do it. But in the back of my mind, I knew like I only am giving myself a year because I need to make a decision if I'm going to come back to water polo for Tokyo.
Yeah.
Which, like 1 year after taking time off is near impossible with no seed.
Yeah. I mean, for surfing, it's like for any sport, if you're going to try and get to like the highest level, it's years of working your way up and all in on it. So, I mean, you definitely have the ability, but you need the time.
I know.
You need all,
it was so fun. And I think the surf industry and just everyone in the surf world just welcomed me back with open arms. Like, I remember how fun it was going to QSs and people I haven't seen in forever, like give me high fives and hugs. But my overall year was kind of mediocre. Like, I had some standout performances and I had to make a decision. So it was August of that year, 2017. I reached out to Adam, our head coach, again. I was like, hey, I think I want to come back. Like, the surfing thing isn't necessarily working out. And I think surfing has always been glamorized, but there's so much stuff that people don't see behind the scenes and how hard it is to travel. I mean, you know best that the travel's exhausting.
It's so gnarly.
So gnarly.
I want people to know how hard it is to travel as a pro surfer. It is so gnarly.
And the talent is so high. You can't just like cruise the day before a QS contest and like show up and think you're going to be okay. Like, there's training, there's coaching, there's, you know.
Especially now. I think back in the day you could get away with it, but now it's like, it's so all in. Everyone's got a sports psych. Everyone's got the whole team of people. I mean, if you have the resources to do it, but if you're not all in, you're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
And it kind of used to be more like, if you had a little talent and like, you could sort of get away with it on the women's tour for sure. Like, it was kind of like, okay, I could squeak by and work hard, but and now you better be so all in. And when you went back on the QS, it was kind of that turning point.
Yeah, it was starting to turn like, and then it's like I'm traveling with, sometimes my coach, sometimes solo, sometimes if I'm lucky, like a family member, but it's kind of lonely. And I was gone that year, like 200 days plus, maybe. Like, I mean, that's every year to you. So
Did you feel the water polo community at the time was kind of like, what's she doing? Right?
Oh my gosh.
Did you feel like, there was just a bit of a sour taste in their mouth because you were going and trying that?
It was always really tough for me. And I didn't talk a lot about my surf career in the water polo community because they, don't know how to really, I don't know how to say this. And like, this is me trying to say it in a humble way, but they've never been, at a top athlete in both sports, and there's no one that's really done that. So I didn't have anyone to relate to. So I just kind of shut my mouth about surfing. So I'm basically like pushing down one of my biggest passions, not being able to share with people. Like, I'd be watching you live in China. I actually remember it was the Bali, and I was like streaming in China. I was like, gosh, I don't even want to know how much my phone bill was that month.
Oh no.
But Lakey was in the finals, and I was like psyching on the team bus going to the airport. And I can't even share that like love for anyone because A, people didn't care, and B, they kind of like frowned upon it. And then especially when I came back after that year, because I thought I was done, was going to retire, and then I came back, and there's some players still, my teammates, that just have never gotten over it.
Yeah.
And, they lost respect for me and lost trust. And I knew that was part of it, but I wasn't going to go after this dream that was on the back burner for, decades.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah.
Now I think everyone, I mean, I'm obviously done now, but people have supported it for sure. Like there's obviously those teammates that support it. There's going to be those teammates that don't really, but that's what happens when you put together 13 women.
You know what's funny is, and again, we won't go too deep right now in either of our deals, but I actually was just thinking about this earlier. I'm like, it's interesting. I wanted to ask you because I've never really done team sports. I mean, when I was little, but like on a high level, I've always just been surfer on my own. It's all about me, my world, my deal.
Yeah.
No one else to really rely on except like my coach and what, my support crew, whatever. But do you feel like, because you were in ways like a professional surfer and then obviously the highest level water polo player on a team, what do you prefer, like team sport or individual?
It's such a trip. I think I love the team, like the team aspect and winning something and overcoming so many individual stories and then like different backgrounds and coming together to obtain this goal.
So cool.
As a gold medal. Like there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
And there's some teammates I talk to every day, every other day, but there's, the reality is there's 2 or 3 or 4 of them, like 2 of them were bridesmaids, but I've had 26 Olympic, I don't know if 26, but around 20 Olympic teammates.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 or 3 that I've fully connected with.
Yeah.
There's some that I'll respect for life.
Yeah.
And like we see each other and we pick up right where we left off and it's the best thing ever. And then there's some, it's like, you know what? We're just different personalities and different people. And it's like, I wish you the best of luck, but I'll probably never talk to you or see you again unless it's water polo bringing us together. And then I tried really hard during that. I mean, I tried to do so much in that 1 year for 2017, but one of my goals was to build a team around me. And it was really cool. And I had a pretty sick team, but it was still, it's like this weird thing because everyone's there for you. And it is kind of selfish in a way.
Yeah.
And, it was all about me.
It's super selfish.
Yeah.
And you have to.
And I was trying to figure that out too. But like, I got to travel with like one of my best friends, Jackie. He shoots photos. I was like, dude, this is insane. We're like in Japan having the time of our lives. And I was like, it's just such a different experience. Obviously the team and what we accomplished is so amazing, but surfing is surfing. And it's like what we love. Like the actual mere act of surfing is way better than water polo.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that 100%. I've always dreamt about like, when you lose, it would be nice to be on a team. So it's just not all you.
Yeah.
Okay, I can blame a little bit on you and you
totally
and me. But then it's individual sports, obviously. But then when you win, it's really sweet. That was
so
all
fun.
on me.
Yeah.
They're so different. I was curious what you have.
Yeah, it's kind of a trip mentally wise too. Like, I don't know, leaning into the individual to the team, but yeah. So I hopped back on the team in 2018, worked my way up, and then in 2019 I went through this crazy experience. We were in South Korea, balcony.
I want to touch on that.
And we won World Championships. So World Championships is the second biggest tournament. It happens every 2 years to the Olympics.
Yes.
We beat Spain, who is a longtime rival of ours, in the final. It was like this killer game, night game, raining, just all time. And then for the most part, every last night of a tournament, you go out and celebrate. Like we're partying, we're having the best time ever. Not just Team USA, but all of the countries.
So fun.
And you have, you see these people around the world. You build relationships with people from other countries too, whether you play with them abroad or maybe in college. Like you have a great relationship with them. And so we're all celebrating at this place called Coyote Ugly of all names. And I was on top of the balcony. We're dancing.
Red flag with the name. Should have known.
And there was like this balcony that we later found out was illegally built and it was over capacity. So just imagine these giant water polo dudes and chicks like stomping around.
No.
And it was about time to go home and fly home the next day. Balcony collapses. I'm up top and just am free falling. A full story. So, 12 feet. Like, what's going on? Like, it felt like slow-mo, but it felt super fast and like
a little intoxicated.
For sure. Like having so much fun. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? And then I remember hitting the ground really hard and being pinned down from a human dog pile. And remember starting to freak out. And this is like the beginning of like, now I struggle with claustrophobia and a lot of PTSD from it. And that was the beginning because I remember I was like pushing my teammate off me. One of my best friends and teammates, like I couldn't get her off me. And then I realized like, I couldn't move my leg. It was stuck from the rebar.
Was there like glass everywhere?
Yes, there was glass. Like it was so, well, remember you're dropping all of like glass bottles and stuff too, but there was glass everywhere. And it got really blurry for me in those moments. But the water polo community came together and helped everyone. 2 local South Koreans unfortunately passed away.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, and they were underneath us at like the tables. Yes, we landed on them.
Oh my God.
And I didn't know that until I was in the ambulance. But
Sad.
one of the men's team carried me out to the sidewalk, and it's still raining. So like, just imagine the most chaotic thing. And like, we're all intoxicated. It's raining. Like, we're in a foreign country. No one speaks English. There's plenty of other injuries that people need to attend to.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like bleeding really bad. Never looked at my leg because I didn't want to freak myself out, but I started fading in and out of consciousness at that point. Whether it was shock, loss of blood, like I didn't know. Got me in the ambulance, tourniqueted my leg actually, got me in the ambulance. And that's when I started doing the FaceTimes to the family and just like telling them like, hey, I think everything's gonna be okay. It's literally 11 a.m. On a Friday. And like my family, I was texting them like photos of us at the club earlier.
Your poor family was probably like, what do you mean?
They say it was like the gnarliest phone calls of their life.
Absolutely. Oh
and like,
gosh.
Who knows? I was probably talking gibberish at that point.
Yeah.
Anyways, fast forward, we get to the hospital and I undergo immediate surgery. And what we were most worried about was the nerve damage. After I got checked out, knew I was going to be okay. No broken bones somehow, but they were really worried about my left leg nerve. And if that gets damaged, that could technically mean like you have drop foot and you can't, you don't have a functioning foot.
Yeah.
So the rest of the team is flying home.
Still in Korea.
Stuck in Korea with our trainer and our doctor, who are like the most amazing humans.
Wow.
And I wake up from surgery and I remember like the first thing I asked was like, Larnie, who's our trainer, I was like, is there any nerve damage? She's like, you were millimeters away, like no nerve damage.
Jeez Louise.
And then the next question, which is like so standard athlete mindset, and looking back on it, I wish I could have like hit myself and like thought of something else. But I was like, can I play? Like, when can I start training again?
Oh my gosh, you're such an athlete.
I was like, what? But you remember that was July of 2019. The Tokyo Olympics were less than a year away. So I was thinking this team was the most competitive stacked team ever.
Well, yeah, less than a year getting ready to go.
Yes.
That's one thing maybe people don't understand. You're like, that is now.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, you don't have a whole year to just heal and then start.
No.
We're like happening now. You don't have that time.
It was so competitive, and I was kind of on the bubble at that point too. And
yeah.
There was talk about cutting the team from 13 to 11, so there was extra pressure on the team. So it was just craziness, and I'll dive into the whole recovery and my mindset and stuff. But luckily, I was able to, like, that's definitely for another episode. But work my way back. So much help from support team, from teammates, from family. Like, it literally changed me as a person. Like, I viewed life differently, like perspective and.
That'll change you because you could have died, and 2 people unfortunately did. Like that sort of thing will absolutely just give you so much perspective.
And I think it like softened me. Like, I was always pretty intense. I was the one that was going, if I wasn't happy with my performance and we had a game that night, I would jump over the Newport Harbor pool to practice more. If I didn't make a swim set.
I wish I had more of your mentality. I don't. I do not. I need more. I need a little bit of that grit.
I think you're doing great.
No, I don't have that.
So I think it softened me up a bit. And then COVID, I struggled with panic attacks. Like, I've never dealt with anxiety or panic attacks. Yeah, so I had to go back to therapy. Like, I went to therapy for the first time and just dove into that during COVID. So COVID was actually a blessing for me because it gave me a little bit more time to work on my mental. And then we came back to the team maybe May or June of 2020 and trained for another year, barely traveling because of COVID. Made it to Tokyo. Luckily, the Olympics went on. No family or friends were there, but.
So it was a blessing too because it was a year late.
Yes.
That's
because
now
I don't think I might have not made the team.
2020. It was, if they didn't push it back 20.
Yeah, like I wasn't playing my best water.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. So that gave me a whole other year to dive into mental health, dive into my physical health. Like, I still have aches and pains from it. And we went to Tokyo, and Tokyo is really important for me because my dad is an Olympic swimmer and his first Olympic Games was in 1964 in Tokyo.
That's so cool.
So like, there's like a lot of history.
That's like crazy.
It's crazy. Like, what are the odds?
That's so cool.
And we went to Tokyo, and I probably had one of the best, if not the best tournament of my life. And we won gold there, which was all time.
Drop the mic.
I should have probably, knowing how Paris ended.
Gosh, yeah. And your dad couldn't come to Tokyo though, right?
No,
'Cause
no one
COVID.
could. So they were watching at home. There was like watch parties and they
Aw,
tried to make
man.
it as special as they could. But I think at that point we were so burnt out. The team was literally holding on by thread.
Yeah.
They were
was
just,
like-
COVID was just a tense time for everyone,
Yeah.
different beliefs, different everything, that we were just happy the Olympics happened at that point.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. There's so much more to dive into.
There's so
in
much more
the
to dive
world.
into.
We're gonna go way deeper
Yeah.
at some point here. But yeah, it's just wild being athletes, like how much you go through, how much you grow through between injuries. I mean, for you, like, winning gold medals, that's just like so much up and down. And then even for me, I mean, I didn't accomplish near as much as you, but like just the wins and the losses and like
You've had injuries too.
totally. And then real life family stuff. Like it's definitely like very much highs and lows with what we do.
Yeah.
And that's also like a lot of why, or what we want to talk about, I think, on this show, on this podcast, because it's fun to just get together and talk about the highs, but also the lows and the things people just don't see, or just the hard parts or the weird things. Yeah. So I think we're excited to kind of share that and talk about that, a lot more, and just get like some of your teammates on, water polo people on, a bunch of surfers on. Like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. I'm so stoked.
Yeah. And we're going to dive so much more into like both of our stories too. And just, I don't know, it's going to just be fun, free flowing conversation of stuff we're interested. We're also both pretty health weirdos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure we'll dive into our crunchy, non-toxic lifestyles that may or may not be working.
Totally. We're definitely getting sold. We're doing all the things. But,
I will say though, it's funny. Like you said, we were thinking about starting this like 3 weeks ago. We were literally golfing with our husbands, and I think we were on the 18th hole, and we were like talking about, for me, I retired from water polo and like what's next, and talking about the transition and how tough it is. And Lakey just says, we should start a podcast. And I was like, yeah, dude, that sounds sick. Let's do it. And then she texted me and she's like, no, we really should start a podcast.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And here we are with equipment that we bought.
This is pretty legit.
Chat GBT.
Yes. I mean, this was like on a whim, but it made sense.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I just threw it out there. I was like, Kayleigh's the person to do it. I always want to do it, but on my own. And I was like, I don't want to do it on my own. Yeah, you and I just clicked. We almost called this podcast The Cousins because everybody thinks we're related.
Yes.
Like everybody.
The amount of times, like, I'm sure Lakey doesn't get it as much as me, but people are like, are you related to Lakey Peterson? And I was at her wedding in 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2019. And it was me, Lay, and Jesse, and we were just like hanging out, cocktail hour or whatever. And all these people are coming up to me like, oh, what side of the family are you on? Like, are you cousins? That we actually made it a game. We're like, I will have to have a drink every time somebody calls me a cousin.
Oh my gosh, that's so
And we gave up. We're like, after 5 people in the first hour were talking to me, I was like, I can't keep up with this.
I think I had it a couple times at your wedding too, though. So yeah, it's pretty good. We're long lost sisters.
We are.
So yeah, should we?
Let's wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap it up. Let's wrap it up, guys.
All right, so we're going to end every episode with this one question for all of our guests. So I'm going to ask Lakey first, and then she'll ask me. But this segment is called Let's Wrap It Up. So if you could send a voice memo to your younger self or to any kid in the lineup chasing the same dream, what is one piece of advice you would give to keep going? Question, and we decided on that question, and now it's really putting me on the spot here. If I could voice memo, I think I would probably say something along the lines of like, this life and this journey of competing is incredible, but it's also like really, really hard, and you lose a lot more than you win. So just have the perspective the whole way through of learning from your losses. Like truly, it sounds cheesy, but I would just say enjoy the journey and the people, and the hard times are what make the good times so good. If you just stick with it and keep going and kind of just weather the storm. So just keep rolling and enjoy the great times and roll through the hard times. And that's what makes it all so sweet, like at the end of the day. But I probably came into my life thinking it's all sunshine and rainbows. And I learned really quickly it's not. So I think I would just warn her that there's going to be some times that are tough, but that's part of it. And that's where you can really learn and grow the most. So there's my long-winded answer. Voice memo. For me, I think it pops up to my mind, and I've used this quote through many different aspects of my life, but I mentioned Coach Barnett as a huge role model, and I came back to the pool deck, and he had a quote on his board. No one was on the pool at Newport Harbor, and it said, something along the lines like, there are choices you have to make in everything you do, but you must keep in mind the choices you make makes you. And I actually use that in my vows at our wedding.
Ooh.
And it always pops up in the back of my mind, because really the way I view that quote is, everything's just up to you. Like, you get to choose how you want to show up every day, the attitude you want to show up, the work ethic you want to show up, the consistency. And if you can look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and check off those boxes, then I think you're bound for success. And that's what I would tell my younger self, or somebody going after the Olympic dream. It's just focus on doing what you can do and control what you can control, especially in the surf world. So many uncontrollables.
Yes.
So controlling what you can control, and know that every little decision, not to stress you out, but every little decision is ultimately making you and your character of who you are.
Great advice. Voice memo. Great voice.
He does love voice memos, by the way. So
I throw them out there. People hate them. I gotta stop. I gotta stop doing it. They're just easy. Well, that was awesome.
Yeah, we did
First
it.
episode.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you for listening. Hopefully you made it this far. We're gonna get back to this. We're gonna have a lot of cool people on.
We are.
It's a sure thing.